offense was kind of stagnant to start the game, and you guys get those turnovers, the fast break. How did that sort of change the flow for you guys offensively?
Yeah, our defense does create offense for us when we're flowing pretty good. We can't win any other way other than our defense helping our offense. If we're offensive sensitive, we're going to lose. And so within how we play, it's predicated on both sides of the ball, not just one.
Like full court trap basically started that. That's been that.
Well, we're down whatever it was, 16-4. So we had to do something.
22 assists and 7 turnovers. Is that a combination?
Pretty good. Pretty good. 20 free throw makes. If you can get to 18 assists and 20 free throw makes, you're probably going to have a chance to win. And I think our guys have done an outstanding job of sharing the ball. And I think that they understand our shots, not just collectively as a team, but they understand their shots individually, which I think helps you to shoot a higher percentage. But we're pretty good when we're creating for others, and then also getting to the free throw line, and those things go hand in hand. So that's really good.
What did you tell your team after you were down so much so early?
Nothing. You know, just here we go, guys. Double digits for the whatever 5th consecutive time. Congratulations. So now it's an uphill battle the rest of the way. Whatever margin we had, if there was any, I don't think there was against a team as good as Cincinnati, but whatever margin there was, because we were playing at home, we just lost it in 4.5 minutes.
How many plays you guys done?
Three that I remember. 3. One was just to calm them down when it was getting kind of out of whack. One was a full court play. Mick knew what it was because I was watching him. He knew what it was. So I changed it. And then the other one was I called it timeout, sideline out of bounds, ran a play once we got it in.
So transition and secondary?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it, and I'm not trying to be arrogant, but we have plays, and we run plays. We want to teach our guys how to play. And so, like, I think within the perspective of your question, Tom, like, I don't know how to answer it because our mode of operation is different than probably what you think. And so, do we run plays? Technically, we run a play every possession, because when you say transition or secondary, we're running plays within that. And we call it sequence, but it's a sequence of plays. Guys, we're doing this, and then it's this, and then it's this. And so it's not like the point guard has to initiate it and we go, okay, we're running Journal Sentinel. It's not really like that. And so I don't know how to accurately describe it in a way that you could type it.
Mick said he can tell the teams in the Big East respect them more this year.
I think he's coach of the year. And I mean, he's my friend. I think he's really, really good. There's 8 guys in the entire country that are employed at a BCS institution that are 40 and under. 8. You ought to do a story about that, because Mick, for sure, got the worst job relative to what that program was when he got it. They won 27 games last year, and if the NCAA tournament committee wouldn't have had us, UConn, Cincinnati, and Syracuse playing one another so everybody shut up about the Big East, they would have played in the Sweet 16. I think he's done an unbelievable job. And for him to have handled the Xavier incident the way he did as soon as it was over, that speaks to who he is. I think he's a really good coach. And I think they have 10 high major players.
What he said since because they beat you here last year, that you guys would be more primed for this game?
Just absolutely whipped us. Were you at the game?
Yeah. But
Just
why I'm asking,
absolutely
was
whipped us.
Was that motivation for today?
Well, I don't know if it's motivation. It was an embarrassment. I mean, we had one guy score 30, and the rest of our guys, I think, scored 32. And we had 10 turnovers in the first 10 minutes. They just whipped us. They just whipped us. So I don't know if our guys aren't smart enough to remember that game. But, yeah, I mean, it was an embarrassment.
Last time you had a week off, I think it was the Vanderbilt game. Are you going to do anything different this time around with Connecticut coming up?
Well, we had Christmas during that time, so Santa Claus won't come this week. That would be one thing. Our guys weren't in school, so they have to go to school. That'll be different. That game, the Vanderbilt game, is why we didn't get a bye through the first round of conference. And so it's been a long journey. These last 13 games, 14 if you count Vanderbilt, that's a long time. That's a grind time, particularly within what's happened to our roster during that time. It's when you talk about all the preparation that goes into a game, and then when you add to it, we're playing 6-6 and under, so there's added adjustments within that. I think it's really good that we played an afternoon game, and our guys don't have to do anything the rest of the day or tomorrow, and they get to wake up Monday morning and go to school. I think it's really good for them. I think it's really good for our staff. So I don't know about doing anything different. I think Vanderbilt just whipped us. Vanderbilt's really good.
Well, going back to the pressing and trapping you guys did particularly first of all, it seemed like that run where you guys caused turnovers on 4 out of 5 possessions came right after you did that, so even if it doesn't lead directly to turnovers, does it maybe wear them down or get them out of the sync?
I don't know. Cincinnati's #1 in the league in turnover margin. I think they were second last year. They're not a team that is going to turn it over. I think they averaged 9 coming into today. But I did think that initial period of time, it shook it. As much as it shook them, it kind of revitalized us. And I don't know if, within that stuff that we're doing, we're not really trying to create turnovers in the backcourt as much as we are trying to keep their team as high and wide on the floor as possible because we're so deficient internally, if that makes sense.
Undefeated in the conference at home, is that something that's on your list of goals, priorities, or is that something that just goes without saying?
Sure. You can do some research. I think we're 54-11 at home since we've been here, and I think that win at DePaul put us to 1 under 500 since we've been here. Pretty good.
With O'Toole and Gardner
I think it's 19-20 on the road. Last year was our worst road winning percentage. We only won 3. We were 3-6 on the road, 6-3 at home. That's 9-9. That was the worst we had been. The previous 2 years we were 5-4, both years on the road. So we're 7-0 at home or 6-0? 7-0 at home, and we've won 3 road games. So yeah, that's big. That we talk about those things.
As you talked earlier about being down early in this game, that's been happening frequently. Why does that happen and overcoming so frequently as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it speaks to who our guys are, and I think it speaks that I'm doing a bad job preparing them. And I think the other thing, I think our guys get kind of tired of, we don't have any post players. We're going to get swallowed up inside. We're going to get manhandled on the glass. I think they get tired of all of those things. And as much as we, within what we do, try to seclude ourselves from that, they're 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, and I think they get tired of maybe not garnering the respect that they feel as though they deserve. Entering this game, we're 20-5 and 9-3 in the league, and everybody's saying, yeah, but you're about to get beat. At some point that they get tired of that. But I don't think that we come into the game and go, hey, let's give them double-digit leads, and then go, okay, now we'll play. It's not I mean, it's not on purpose. We're not point shaving.
I know you have more than 2 guys contributing, but can you talk about the season that Jay and DJ L have had, especially in 2 former JUCOs? They're just your top 2 scorers on the top 20 team.
For 2 guys that were never ranked in a scouting service by any scouting service, for them to be where they're at in their career speaks to who they are. And I root for guys that are playing from behind, and I root for guys that don't have a white picket fence and a puppy dog in the front yard. And I root for those guys, and I seem to coach those guys better because their story is reflective of mine. And so when they get a T-shirt, they look you in the eyes and say, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And when you say hook up and let's go to work, they understand what work is. And so our JUCO guys have been pretty good on and off the floor since they've been here. But because their path says they're not supposed to, nobody will ever give them the credit they're deserving of. And so I think that they have an edge about them that's unspoken, similar to the edge that I have. And so I think it's remarkable if you really study it. And it's been a lot of fun being around them. They've helped make me a better person. They've definitely helped me grow as a coach. And they're 2 really, really good players that I think have a brighter future than any scouting service guy ever thought, considering they didn't know who they were. And hopefully we can continue to string this out, because I want to continue to be around them. I really enjoy coaching them. And we need to get a couple more JUCO guys to replace them.